Hello everyone, my name is Patrick Parmelo, and today I will show you how to convert GLSL shader into MilkDrop preset. If you're looking to learn how to write shader from scratch, this video won't cover that. But don't worry, I will include a link in the description to a great beginner-friendly tutorial that does just that. Today, our focus will be on a simple but very useful skill, converting existing GLSL code into HLSL, the shader language used by DirectX and required by tools like NestDrop and MilkDrop. You won't need advanced programming knowledge to follow me. We will stick to the basic, and I will walk you through everything step by step. But this tutorial isn't about copying someone's works. It's about learning how shader works so you can get inspired and eventually create your own. So let's start. We will begin by choosing a simple shader from ShaderToys.com. This site is filled with incredible GLSL shader made by talented artists. I will be using a shader called Shader Art by Kishimishu because it's a compact, simple, and perfect for learning. It's the result of the tutorial mentioned before. Next, open up Notepad++ or any text editor you like and paste the shader code. Then we need to add the appropriate MilkDrop header. You can grab them from most existing preset. Just activate one in NestDrop, press Ctrl+C, and paste the path into your file explorer. If it's the first time, you get asked which software to use to open it. I choose Notepad++, so it opened it directly in Notepad++ for me. And you can see here the header lines for MilkDrop. So there's the MilkDrop version, and also the shader version for global and composition and warping shader. So you need to copy those 4 lines into your document. For more information about shader in preset, you can look at the JSWork webpage for reference for MilkDrop, mostly the section F. You can read that preset have 2 shader sections, warping and composition shader. For this tutorial, we will stick on the composition shader to keep things simple. Each composition shader starts with COMP underscore following by a line number. This line must be sequential with no gap or empty lines. I've written a Python script to help with this. I will include it in the description. So once your code is formatted correctly, save the file with milk extension. To test it, drag the containing folder into empty cur window in NestDrop to create a folder cur. It likely won't work on the first time because we haven't converted to the HLSL yet. But don't worry, this is part of the process. To help us to debug our code, you should enable the error reporting by setting the warning disable to in the milk2.ini. You can find it in the plugin folder. Then restart, just need to restart the video deck. When you try to run the preset, it will now display a helpful error message. If the text is too small, you can use the full screen mode. Next, let's translate this GLSL code into HLSL. Here are a few rules. First, replace all vec number type with float instead. So vec2 will become float2, vec3 will become float3, etc. Those are variables that contain, for example, float3 will contain three value in the same variable. Then initialize variable explicitly with all required value. In GLSL, you get a shortcut that you can only put a single value and it will fill all value with the same. But in HLSL, it's not permitted, so you have to explicitly put all required value individually. Then HLSL doesn't allow a decimal point at the beginning or at the end of a number. Then there's some rule that's specific for MilkDrop, such as variable name and function name. So in this case, they use iTime, which is a ShaderToy variable. For MilkDrop, you have to change it to time with a small t. Then the main function must be named shader body with no parameter. We already have a UV variable provided by MilkDrop, so we can put this line in comment. And finally, the output of the result pixel color is used with the red variable. After making this change, let's save and try again. Now we have an issue with fract. A bit of research showed that this function name in HLSL is frac without the T. But so let's change it and try again. Yes, it's working. We get something. We get no error. But the visual is not centered like the original shader. So let's check the code again. This commented line create a variable UV in a -1 to 1 range instead of 0 to 1, as mentioned in the documentation right here. So let's change this line to remove the float because we don't want to create a new one. We can use the same. UV equal UV time 2 to double the range, then -1 to offset to -1 to 1. Let's save. Try again. Voila! Now we get preset. So now that is running and you can make it more dynamic. Of course, the time variable can be influenced by the animation speed slider, but it won't react to the music. So let's try to experimenting with some music reactive variable from the MilkDrop documentation to create variation that respond to sound during the runtime. So let's choose base, for example. And the base is around 1, but could be lower and higher. So let's change, for example, remove this value, replace it with base. So let's save and let's see what's happened. Now we get nothing, but let's put some music. Voila! So now we have sound reacting preset that you can use. Of course, you can also change the variable, change the emplacement if you know a bit of the code. You can even build a collection of presets that each have a unique audio response and all starting from the same base. And there you have it, a working MilkDrop preset based on a GLSL shader. More importantly, you've taken your first step into the vibrant world of shader art. It's a fascinating intersection between creativity and code, and the possibilities are endless. I hope this tutorial sparked you interest. Explore, experiment, and don't be afraid to break things, because that's where real learning happens. Take what you learned today and let's fuel your imagination. Who knows? Maybe your next shader may be the one that inspires someone else. Thank you very much for watching and happy VJing.